Hello there! This is Oppo Ramses. And if you're wondering why I suddenly started doing so many Rebels reviews, it's because the last episodes were just brilliant and I really want to discuss them. So the Clone Wars episodes, I'm sorry, but they'll have to wait a bit. First, I want to go through all the Rebels ones, and this is Season 4, Episode 12, Wolves and Adore. This episode was fantastic. I want to remind what happened in the last episode. The wolves left Ezra some kind of a stone from the Jedi Temple, and they gave him a little bit of guidance to go and free the Jedi Temple from the Imperial occupation. So the temple on Lothal, not Coruscant, not the one we're used to seeing. One of the temples that is quite an old one. In season 2, it was captured by the Empire, and now they're sort of want to return it back and free it from the occupation. This stone, I predicted that it told the story of the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars, as we did see the Mortis arc in the Rebels trailer. For those who don't know, I'm quickly going to summarize the Mortis arc. Basically, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka find themselves in sort of a situation where they're on some mysterious, very force-connected planet, and there they find the three sort of lords of that planet: the father, the son, and the daughter. The son is the representative of the dark side, the daughter of the light side, and the father of sort of the balance between the dark and the light. I figured out that this stone was connected to it since the stone had three hands drawn on it. One of them is a palm, which is like, I think, is like the middle because it's the father's hand. Then there's the free hand, like the daughter, like the light. And then there's the fist, which I thought represented the sun. And I was correct. This stone was connected to the Mortis arc. So the episode starts out with Ezra sort of calling the wolves, the Loth Wolves, using the Force because they need to get something quick to sort of get to the temple, and they want to get onto the Loth Wolves. The Loth Wolves come out thanks to Ezra being very sensitive to animals. And then there are a lot of funny interactions, like Zeb he's like afraid of those wolves, and he's like, "Hello, I'm Zeb." And after that, the ghost crew jumps. Each member of it jumps onto a wolf. Chopper the droid is basically taken into the mouth of the wolf, and then they begin running to the temple under this very sort of catchy but strange music. It's kind of sounds like something, I don't know. It doesn't really sound like Star Wars music, but it does fit the moment, I think. We then have this sort of light speed style montage where we are reminded of the best quotes from season 1, season 2, and it's pretty nice. It really shows how the story has progressed. But enough of that. The rebels arrive at the temple, which is sort of excavated for a lot of resources. The Emperor wants everything, all the artifacts, everything inside it to be found and sort of brought to him. So there are a lot of Rodian workers and Trandoshans, and that is something I really like because it's kind of hard to explain, but you see, it's before in Rebels or even in the Clone Wars, whenever some characters were working for someone, they were important to the story. But now we have just a lot of different species, and I like it more. It's sort of like they're just filling the universe, and that's what I like because sometimes there are just way too many like little people on one place in the series. The next scene I absolutely love. Sabine and Ezra need to get a disguise and basically get into the temple as stormtroopers. So they need stormtrooper armor. And basically, what they do is make Chopper the droid activate a hologram of Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Battle of Apollon, something like that. The planet was named in season 3 when Thrawn was talking to the ghost crew. Basically, they recorded this message that he sent them, and now they are using it as bait to basically make two stormtroopers come, and then when they come towards the hologram, Zeb kicks them and takes their clothes. Wearing stormtrooper armor, Ezra and Sabine infiltrate the Jedi Temple and find that the Empire is collecting a lot of artifacts. They start looking closely at those artifacts when a new character steps in. At first, I thought that this character was Vanni, the servant of Lord Vader from Rogue One. But it turns out this is a completely different character. His name is Minister Various Hygen, and basically he's responsible and in charge of this whole excavation of the Jedi Temple for artifacts. After one of the Death Troopers approaches the minister, that Death Trooper reports that Coruscant is contacting the minister. The minister walks away, and then Ezra and Sabine, using Chopper, infiltrate sort of the transmission to listen to what it basically says. And then I love this. The minister says, "We have made some remarkable discoveries, my Emperor." And then we hear Ian McDermott's voice. The voice of the actual actor who played Palpatine. No one can replace him. Ian Abercrombie, rest in peace, but only he can be the Palpatine. In season 2, there was a little scene with Palpatine, like just a few words, and he was voiced by Sam Witwer. I don't think that Sam Witwer basically captures this whole oldness and this whole cackling, this very almost like a witch's voice. Sam Witwer completely, in my opinion, doesn't understand what the most important thing about Palpatine's voice is his oldness. Is his this very evil voice. Ian McDermott just rocks in this whole episode. Every single line is delivered with such an impact on me. But anyway, I'm talking about this too long. The minister tells Palpatine about the discovery of this painting with the daughter, the son, and the father embraced on it. And Palpatine says, "The Mortis gods." And the thing is, I don't know how he's aware of the Mortis gods. I think this is something very few people know, but this is just my theory. I think that Palpatine knows this from Anakin. Anakin has already traveled to Mortis with Obi-Wan and Ahsoka during the Clone Wars, and Anakin tells a lot of stuff to Palpatine. Perhaps even his marriage with Padme, the death of his mother, and the slaughtering of the Sand People, everything. A lot of information from Anakin comes to Palpatine. I think that Anakin told this to Palpatine, and Palpatine was like, I need to discover more about this. And then basically he learned the secrets. Palpatine then says that somewhere in the temple there is sort of this connection between the living and the dead, all time and space, and basically Palpatine says you need to find it, and he gives the minister permission for further search of the temple. Meanwhile, Ezra and Sabine discovered the painting of the Mortis gods on the wall of the Jedi Temple. They accidentally activate it, and then the pictures start moving. And in this scene, the 2D animation collided with the 3D animation fits very perfectly. The father basically shows the daughter and the son that they are the light side and the dark side, and then the lone wolves on the painting start going somewhere. Ezra follows them. They start running around each other, sort of quicker and quicker until they create this portal. Meanwhile, Sabine is captured and brought to the minister. He understands that basically something is wrong. Someone has activated this thing. He wants to catch Ezra. However, Ezra jumps into the portal, and after him it closes and the stormtroopers just bump on the wall. And that's the end of the episode. This was one of the best, if not the best episode so far in this season of the... yeah. And I absolutely love it. I give it a 10 out of 10.